So I finally got the chance to play Sonic Forces at EGX, which is a gaming event in Birmingham. So, in this video I'm going to give you my full thoughts on the game after I've played it. So let's begin. And yeah, I'm doing facecam for this video because I've actually asked a lot of you people if you want a facecam, and a lot of you said yes. So, I thought I'd do facecam. I think it's a lot more fun, me doing facecam, but let's just get straight into this video. So, I'm going to start off with modern Sonic, since he seems to be the most popular gameplay style. The gameplay you're going to see on screen is my first ever time playing Sonic Forces, and this is on the Nintendo Switch, so the gameplay is going to be really bad because this version is absolutely terrible. The frame rate is 30 FPS, it frame drops everywhere, and there's input delay. There's a 1 second input delay. What the hell? So that was really, it's almost unplayable, the Switch version, and that was my first ever version I played. So that's a shame, but let me give you my full thoughts. So, Sonic Forces, modern Sonic, it feels okay. It's not the best, it's not the worst. My biggest concern is that it's way too basic. They've like nerfed all of Sonic's abilities. He feels even more nerfed than he does in Sonic Colors, and he was really nerfed then. So, he can't do the drift, he can't really do that air dash without a boost, and all he can really do is just boost, homing attack, and do that new air boost type thing where you get an extra bit of height, which is actually pretty cool. That's probably my new favourite thing about modern Sonic in this game, is that he can do that really cool air boost, because that really does allow you to do a lot of tricks. So that is pretty cool, but his gameplay feels way too linear. Like, you start going forward, you'll go from 0 to 100 in speed in like the space of 3 seconds, and once you start moving forwards, you're kind of stuck in this sort of lane. It's really hard to explain, but imagine there's 3 lanes, and you just start running forward. You're basically trapped in that lane as long as you keep hold of forward. So that didn't feel great. And he kind of feels really slippery this time around. He feels more slippery than he does in Sonic Colors. Like, it's really hard. Once you're in that lane, it's really hard to even turn left or right. The stage is basically taking you where you need to go, which it doesn't feel that good. It feels way too automated for my own liking. The boost is fine. It runs out way too fast in my opinion. It shouldn't run out that fast, because this game simply isn't fun without the boost for modern Sonic. He just feels really slow, and it just doesn't feel great. But the modern Sonic stage I played was Sunset Heights, and that music is out by the way. The music's pretty great. But Sunset Heights, it's such a short stage. Now, I've done the world record for this as of yet. No one else has beaten that time, and I think it was 54 seconds. And I've actually done it in 53 seconds, but I never got to record that because there was no one around to help me record it. So 53 seconds, that's an incredibly short stage. And that's for like the main modern Sonic stage as well. It's not just some sort of side filler act. That's the main modern Sonic stage, and it was only like a minute long. That's way too short, and if all of the modern stages are that short, that's going to be terrible, at least in my opinion. That's awful. They should be way longer than that. Now, if you saw me play this game live at the PlayStation event, you'll know that I died twice in the same position. That was the platforming section to get one of the red star rings. Now, his jump is kind of weird, and I don't just want to blame the game because I died because I kind of sucked, but the jump is kind of weird. Once you are going fast and you're trying to stop, it's really difficult. The only way you can do it is really to stomp. You can't really like jump and then get like a good position on your landing. You kind of have to be like really good and like stomp at the perfect time, or you're gonna die. Because it happened to me twice in a row, and it cost me a Sonic Mania statue, god damn it. But the jump is kind of weird. I do like that there's a double jump, because I definitely think the game needs a double jump. The double jump in Sonic Colors was really good, so I'm glad to see that return. So, overall impressions of the modern Sonic gameplay is, it feels really nerfed, not the biggest fan of it, but I wouldn't lie if I said I didn't have fun. I even got told by the Sega reps at EGX that I was playing the game too much, so I guess I was kind of having fun. It is fun speedrunning the stage, but it's not the most fun ever. It's kind of mediocre. It's okay. And also, it is kind of fun getting a high score on the game. I could see that becoming a really fun element in the game. Trying to get all the red star rings, trying to get as much rings as possible, trying to defeat the most enemies as possible, and then doing it in a reasonable time. I feel like that could be fun. So yeah, thoughts on Modern Sonic. very basic, which I'm not a fan of. It's not bad, but it's not particularly good either. So that's modern Sonic's gameplay. Next, let's get on to classic Sonic. So the stage for classic Sonic I played was an Eggman boss fight. You've probably all seen it by now. It starts off with the classic boss fight, a neat little callback to Sonic 1. Then we get the Egg Dragoon, which is also another neat little callback to Sonic Unleashed. So, classic Sonic's control is kind of weird in this game. He doesn't feel like Generations, but he doesn't feel like the classics either. It's kind of weird. So he has the drop dash in this game, and the drop dash is definitely my favourite thing about classic Sonic. The drop dash works really well. I'm glad they implemented this drop dash into Sonic Forces. That's a good decision on their part. I feel like that could really spice up the gameplay for classic Sonic. And I guess it's a cool little twist. Maybe that's what Izuku was talking about, but I'm not exactly sure. But classic Sonic feels really slippery this time around. Like, you're running and you like try to turn around, you slide for ages, and I noticed that. I kept on practicing going left and right, and it feels really weird. And also there's no spin dash button anymore. One of the best things about classic Sonic in Generations was the ease of using a spin dash. You just had to keep hold of the X button on the Xbox controller, and bam, you could get that spin dash. It was really easy to use, it was a good innovation, and they removed it in this game. Like, what the hell? It was such a good ability, and they just removed it. One of the best things about classic Sonic. So that confused me. I feel like classic Sonic's gameplay in this game has some potential, especially with this drop dash. So I'm actually more excited for classic Sonic than I previously was before. But there's also some weird thing I noticed. Like, if you keep moving left and right, you'll get this weird, like, frame buffer thing, where there'll be like a delay in movement if you just keep on moving left to right, and I found that really jarring and weird. Once I noticed that was in the game, I couldn't stop noticing it. So I'm hoping that's patched out or something, because that was really distracting. And also something else I noticed was, I was trying to like bounce off of like the boulders Eggman was throwing at me, and see if I could like chain them. But for some reason, when you jump and bounce on something, it'll stop your momentum entirely. Well, not entirely, but it'll stop your momentum heavily, so it's almost impossible to jump onto another one. So enemy like chaining, jumping off of enemies, I don't think that's going to work in this game, like it did in the classics. So that's really disappointing. And it just furthers my evidence that classic Sonic is not going to play like the Genesis games, which I think he should, because that is what classic Sonic is. But that is my thoughts on classic Sonic. I'm more excited for him than I was before, but I'm not particularly excited in general. So that's classic Sonic out of the way. Next we have the most divisive gameplay style of them all, and that is the custom hero. So this is the one I was most worried by, because everything I'd seen from the gameplay looked very off. His jump looked very off. He didn't seem very fast. It didn't look all that good, and I'm sad to say I was kind of right on that. So his jump in this game, it's bad. It's just flat out, it's bad. It doesn't work well. So basically, the easiest way to describe this, and I'm pretty sure I said this to Prem, but if you spin dash in, let's say, the classic games, you spin dash and you jump. You can't control your momentum in your air once you jump. That is how the jump for the custom hero works. Once you start running a bit and you jump, you're doomed. You can't really stop your momentum. It's really bad. I died so many times, as you can see from this gameplay. I kept on dying in the same spot multiple times, over and over and over, because the control was so bad. Like, I did not think the control was good at all. You really need to keep on replaying this character over and over and over again, in order to even get a grasp of his gameplay. So I thought that was terrible. I don't think that's going to stick out to many people, because people have short attention spans nowadays. So if they play that like 3 times and they can't do it, what's going to make them want to stay and keep on playing up forwards? Like, it's not very good. The jump is just terrible. And I was asking people about this at the event, what they thought of the custom hero, and nobody liked it. I didn't get a single compliment or a single like positive thing said about the custom hero in Sonic Forces. They said it was a good idea, but nobody liked the gameplay at all. The jump was super jank, and it was weird with the speed because you would go from 0 to 100 in like 2 seconds. Don't think that worked well at all. The only way to stop your momentum is if you stomp, which slows down the gameplay slows down the flow of the game, so it didn't really work out for me. In this gameplay, you'll notice that I'll be doing a lot of homing attacks with the custom hero, and that's because I didn't know how to use that new Wisp-on weapon. You have to actually press R2 on the controller, which they didn't make exactly clear, but that works kind of well. The Lightning Wisp, that's a lot better than I thought it was going to be. So that basically acts as the Hover Wisp in this game. It's like a light speed dash. That works really well. Apart from the actual attack itself, that doesn't work too well, but the actual like ring dash, that works incredibly well. You can do it from quite far away, so you don't have to be right next to the rings. That works well. That was probably the best wisp that I used. So I'm pretty happy with that wisp. I was surprised at how fun that wisp actually was. So that's pretty cool. But the custom hero for me, definitely by far the worst gameplay style in this game. And I think it's one of the worst gameplay styles I think I've ever seen for Sonic the Hedgehog. I don't think it's good. I just don't. You really have to get used to it. Like, really, really have to get used to this in order to get some enjoyment from it. And the level design for that stage just wasn't good either. It was all about trying to get past the enemy crabs, because obviously it was Green Hill Zone. So it's really a game of stop and go, just waiting for the legs to lift up. That's not what Sonic gameplay should be like, just forcing you to stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. That wasn't very fun. And then you've got the enemy crab section at the very end, which is just an auto section. You move left and right for a tiny bit. Not very engaging. Then you've got that one quick time event where you press one single button and you have to watch like a 30-second cutscene. Not very interesting. This was by far the worst part of Sonic Forces for me, and it hasn't given me high hopes for the future of the custom avatar. So I'm sorry to say, I didn't enjoy this gameplay style like at all. So let's get on to the final gameplay style, and that is the tag team mode. So this one is very divisive. This one's very questionable. So the first thing that stood out to me was that you cannot change characters unless you use their abilities. So if you want to change to modern Sonic, you have to boost. And if you want to change to the custom hero, you have to use one of their Wisp-on abilities. So let's say there's a section and you need to homing attack enemies, but homing attacking is faster with Sonic. You have to boost in order to do that. And if you're on like a section and there's a bottomless pit next to you, you pretty much can't use modern Sonic. So it just does it automatically. And I just think that's a terrible way to do that. I get why they did it, because they want to simplify the gameplay so you don't have to focus on switching the character then using their ability. You can just use their abilities on the fly. But it's really just automating the game, and I just don't like that. I want more freedom in this game. It just feels so restricted. So the stage itself is super linear. When you go inside the pyramid, it does open up a bit, but it's not very interesting. It's like the game is like, yeah, this is a different path. There's two paths. Let's go. It's like the game is just like trying to really force it upon you that there are multiple paths, instead of the multiple paths actually just blending in with the level. So I didn't enjoy that. The double boost section isn't very good. Literally, in my world record speedrun, I let go of the damn controller to let the game run, because you literally don't have to press a damn thing. You can just let it go, and you don't lose any speed. It's so, I don't like that. It's too automated. But this level wasn't the worst, but it wasn't the best. I just don't think it was very good, because you could literally just light speed dash over the entire stage. And if you don't light speed dash, all you do is jump on a platform, defeat a circle of enemies, jump on 2 more platforms, defeat another circle of enemies, an automatic drift section because you don't get to drift yourself in this game. And that's the entire stage. So this stage was incredibly disappointing for me. Didn't think it played well. I thought it was just very mediocre. Not that fun, but it wasn't the worst thing ever. It's just there, you know? It's not that interesting. So that's the tag team mode. And that's everything I played from Sonic Forces. That was my first time experience with the game. The most fun gameplay style was absolutely Modern Sonic. Modern Sonic was fun, but he wasn't outstanding. Classic Sonic has the most potential for me, and I'm actually looking forward to him the most out of all these gameplay styles. And I know that's very shocking, but I think his drop dash ability could really spice up these levels. The custom hero plays terribly. I don't think the custom hero plays very well. They really need to improve that control, because that control is just terrible. It's so bad. And then the tag team mode definitely has some potential. If they fix up that level design, then it could possibly be a cool mode, it could be a cool mechanic. But right now I'm not too optimistic about Sonic Forces, because it just doesn't feel that great. It feels way too babyish. It feels like babies could play this game. They're just really aiming this towards making kids play it. And I know Sonic is a kids franchise, but Generations did it. Generations managed to nail this with its great level design, easy controls. It just emphasized the flow. Like even the 2D sections, going from 3D to 2D, it just flowed so well. And Sonic Forces doesn't do this at all. It doesn't flow very well. So that's my thoughts on Sonic Forces after I've played it. This is all just my opinion, so Sonic Forces Defense Squad, please don't kill me, but let me know what you guys think of this game in the comments below. I know my gameplay was terrible, but remember, this was on the Switch version, and I think I've proved my worth after getting the world record for 2 stages. So, I hope you all enjoyed this video, thank you all for watching, and I'll definitely make sure to catch you all later.